Okay, now coming back to the SWOT, the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Let me show you an example straight away, and then let me show you the pitfalls of that kind of a SWOT. What necessarily can happen, what can go wrong, and further how we will. Okay, now let's take a presumption that we are a small IT organization in today's date who wants to diversify into, say, some kind of knowledge management and talent management and things to that effect. So in today's date, we are a very basic IT organization. We create applications for, say, the HR folks, but we want to get into talent management, and that's our big idea. Having said this, how would you want to go about this particular process? Now, there is a PMO in our organization. There is a CEO's desk, or say the senior most management folks who are there. And then, of course, there is a strategy focus group, which has been created by our CEO on suggestion of certain folks that he's interacted with. And these are the strategy focus group of our organization has got representation from absolutely each and every department, from senior folks in that department who can actually look forward, maybe at a horizon which is maybe 3 years from now, not beyond. So there's a lot of folks who will suggest things like have a 5-year plan or have a 10-year plan. In today's date, those plans don't necessarily work. The dynamic environment that is there, please do not plan beyond 3 years. There's absolutely no point doing that. So your strategy plan looks at something which is a 3-year plan. Then you maybe create certain plans which are, say, a 6 months plan or a year plan. Those become your tactical plans. Or you could even, okay, let me risk it. You could even try MBO. Most organizations don't even do that effectively in India, and the rest of the world has rubbished it already. So that is how ancient we are in our people practices. And when I say most of the organizations, I'm absolutely open to anybody working for any of these so-called really top-notch organizations in India giving me a call sometime and saying, yeah, we are doing the MBO quite well. I would like to rubbish that claim. I would totally rubbish that claim. It is not possible. Okay. So having said this, look at the strategy focus group and its construction. It's a very democratic process over here. And of course, I will not say on top of the strategy focus group, but along with the strategy focus group, working with them in tandem is also the corporate board. So if your organization has got a corporate board and it's got all these things, the chances that your organization will ever be innovative are very let me say very vague, or very bleak, and all the negative words that I can say. The more structured your approach towards innovation, the more the chances are that you will fail. Trust me. Okay. But having said this, because most people will not necessarily jump into things and do things the way some of us might want to, so I'm giving you a very structured framework to play around with. Once you have played around with this and you have created your Excel sheets and handed over small sheets to people and say, okay, this is your goal for the next 6 months, and done all those funny things, then you might want to lose this structure over a period of time and become really innovative. Okay, we will see how that happens. Now let's say with this interface that you've created, and that's the word which I've kind of scribbled in red on top over there, and all the arrows right from the PMO to the CEO to the strategy focus group to the corporate board. This is the interface, the thinking interface of my organization. Firstly, they will look at what is priority. So those are the bullet points on the top right. Then they will look at whether there is a potential to kind of get this done, or there's a potential in the market for whatever it is that we prioritized. Now, let's say I just take over recently the HR department of one organization, and for many years I've been with a couple of organizations where I've learned many fancy things, many fancy terms. So the first thing I would love to do is I would want to create some kind of change as my priority, because how will I justify myself otherwise? And otherwise, nobody will find any change in what I am, or people will not find any changes happening in the environment. They will say, why the hell did we hire this guy? So the best way to save my skin and to do a quick win, or get the low hanging fruit, like it is called, is to prioritize whatever I know best. I know how to keep on talking in a monologue best. So what I'll probably do is I'll end up doing something absolutely stupid, and it will not be it might not give me any results. It might not be something which is potentially required by the organization. It might not add any value to the organization. It might have been done in the past in the organization, and many people might have failed at it, but I will not bother about all those things. But I'm just being the devil's advocate. So what I'm actually telling you is, you need to prioritize according to the requirements of the organization. You need to understand what is the potential within the organization for development. You also need to understand how whatever it is that you're planning will add value, and where will it add value. You need not commit the past faults which have been committed within that organization. So before you can jump into anything, you really need to plan, you really need to discuss, you really need to get your SWOT done properly. Okay, perfect. So now let's look at what could be the enabling factors which we would love to maintain. We would like to retain these factors, and those are our strengths. Let's say we have applications that get deployed as standalone applications. You don't necessarily have to have a lot of things getting deployed at the client end. So these are SaaS applications that we create, and you can deploy them absolutely anywhere. Even if the client says that all of my employees, and this happened with me once, let me relate that story to you. I went to meet the head of HR of one of these organizations, brick and mortar consultants. I'd love to call them, but I cannot. Very high-end folks within Gurgaon. And he told me, he said, Rohit, whatever it is that you're suggesting, I will have to bring in my guys in one room, or in one training location and get this done for them. I really can't afford to do that, because my guys are always traveling. Sometimes they, and very cockily he told me, sometimes they don't even check their pay slips. And I was so happy. I was like, wow, what a wonderful organization. What a jolly good time this guy must be having, if his guys don't even check their pay slips. But yes, those are circumstances under which a lot of people operate. People just do not step into offices for months together. They travel all over the place. They use their mobile phones and their various mobile devices to access whatever they have to access. And in such a situation, definitely having a SaaS application is our strength. Definitely goes without saying. We can integrate it with absolutely any platform. That is again a strength that we have. It's a learning portal. Most people do not like learning till it's kind of forced down their throats. But that's not what we are trying to do. So ours is not a push strategy of marketing. Ours is a pull strategy of marketing, or at least that's what we love to think. And knowledge management and knowledge sharing is what we are kind of promoting. We are promoting social learning. So these are our strengths. What could be our weaknesses, or what could be the things that we would want to get rid of? Let's look at that. And again, those are internal to us. The go-to market is very slow, because we really need to overcome this one particular weakness. It is disabling our effectiveness, our efficiency, because go-to market is slow because we're new at whatever we are doing. We might have done this in a different format earlier, or maybe we do not have the skills required in today's date for this. There could be a lack of funds. There could be a lack of innovation on our end. Definitely, why not? Or there could be some instability within our applications, and we could have less of quality focus initially to begin with. But then that is probably naturally how most initial startups end up doing work. They don't have much focus on quality initially. They just want to, they're really desperate to go to market. which again, shows because I put this go-to market in one of my weaknesses. It might be my weakness, might not be my weakness. I really don't know. It's my perception. I could be wrong. Okay. Coming back to the opportunity, the right side of the matrix, which is the external, the opportunities and the threats. The SaaS integration, software as a service, integrated in the cloud. Absolutely nothing required at the client's end, no software installations, nothing of the sort. So that is one opportunity that we really need to bank upon. There is, of course, we can integrate Yammer or other social learning networks. We could integrate LinkedIn, iframe generators. So that's a techie term I put over there. What we could do is we could integrate absolutely any website, absolutely anywhere available, whether it's internal to the organization who will be our client or external to them, put them in iframes, do all that. And okay, just as an example, but there are a few things which I think that we guys are doing which are really cutting edge. Just kidding, okay? Mind map and Leap 6 and all these things. So these could again help us exploit our environment. So these are opportunities which are available in the environment to us. Okay. Now let's look at threats. The threats are things that we need to guard against. As of now, this particular threat might not necessarily harm our organization, but over a period of time, we'll definitely have to be cognizant of such threats. On top, I've written, what is it? Zenexa. Okay. Zenexa is an organization out there in the environment that I really feel threatened about, because that's one of those old-time organizations which is used to creating enterprise-level dinosaurs. Yeah, let me say that again. Zenexa is an organization which is used to creating enterprise-level dinosaurs, and I have utilized some of their dinosaurs earlier, and the feeling that I got was like an ant moving around amongst dinosaurs, ready to be crushed absolutely anytime. Not very lean is the feeling that I get when I look at any of their products or anything. They don't deploy as lean products, they don't behave as lean products, and the future is lean, of course. Okay, so having said this, there could be other threats. There could be increased workload, there could be too many change requests in the products that we send out or in the services that we send out. There could be many requirements for cross-training. We might not have that kind of bandwidth, so all those things are there. Any which ways, let's not get scared with the threats and let's not get too much into a guarded situation over here. If you agree with my SWOT and if you agree with the way I've done things over here, the first question that should come to your mind is what next, right? So there has to be something actionable that I can take out of this. Right now it just seems like my wish list or my my brag list, wherein I say, okay, these are my strengths, those could be my weaknesses, I don't necessarily care. But okay, let's look at how we will action upon these. Now the strength plus the opportunity, what actions would come out of that? So these are called S&O strategies. Let's look at this again. Say my strength is the standalone deployment, the opportunity is SaaS integration. Wow, wonderful. So that's one strategy I've got, one actionable piece of work that I can do immediately, which is make sure that all of my applications or products or services get deployed as a standalone, and the moment somebody wants it to be integrated with something else, on the fly it can be done somehow or the other. So I should give the client that kind of freedom to do that. So that is the first thing that I would love to do. Okay, great. What is next? It says weakness plus opportunity. Oh, okay. So let's see. How can I integrate my weaknesses with opportunities? It says my weaknesses could be nothing for talent acquisition. So I might be, saying things like that Zenexa is somebody who's threatening me in the environment, but I'm being absolutely foolish when I say that, because I'm not in competition with them in each and everything that they are in, they're involved in. I do not want to do that, but presume that is what somebody suggests to me, that dear friend, what you need to do is your weakness, which is that you do not have a talent acquisition offering, needs to be somehow turned into either an opportunity or a strength. How will you do that? You marry it up with an opportunity. So let's marry it up with, say, leap 6. The last point on the opportunity block. And what exactly is leap 6? Leap 6 is very simply a very, very simple, a very, very basic personality assessment profile, a leadership profile. And how can I integrate it with the, say, the talent acquisition piece? I can offer it as a standalone talent acquisition, barometer or test, wherein which I can facilitate, and then that would help me get some kind of understanding into organizations' hiring strategies. And then maybe later on, maybe a couple of years down the line, I can go ahead and pitch for some kind of talent acquisition value add also over there. Yeah. So that is again one example of how I can marry up my weakness with an opportunity and have something actionable come out of it. The last one we'd like to look at is the S plus T, which is the strength plus threat. Now I have certain strengths which are things which are enabling me to be a better organization, a better individual, which I would love to maintain, and the threats I need to guard against. So this should be actually quite simple. It's a no-brainer. Let's say there is a learning portal that I've created, and then Zenexa and Hollet and then Ion Floats, all these, Ion Wits of the world, all of these guys are offering the same thing. What pricing are they offering it at? And who are the folks who are actually buying it? And why are they buying it? All these things, if I can understand, and if I can actually understand what are the entry barriers into this kind of an industry, and I do not get involved in that, I somehow avoid those entry barriers by taking a wire media, by doing something a little different, by doing something a little innovative, like the say the $10 LCMS, yeah. Just like our man Zenexa offers a LCMS, which is the learning content management system. Even I could offer a learning content management system which does all of those things very basically and ends up being just a shell. So there's no content within it. I could definitely get in touch with organizations like DDI or with any of the other organizations, maybe Skillport also, I don't know, maybe someday down the line Skillport would love to port some of its content on the LCMS we might offer. But if you don't think this way, then dear friend, you're not necessarily ready for the journey I'm trying to take you on. Okay, let's have a look at few of these other things.